What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, it's time to do the week 5 paycheck to paycheck budget for the month of March. For those of you all who are new, the way that I do my budgets, it's all based on how many Fridays are in the month, which there were 5 Fridays in the month of March. So before we do week 5, we always have to reconcile the previous week. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. So starting out, we're going to start with the fixed expenses. This expense right here actually didn't process through my credit card account in time. So by the time I actually paid the credit card bill, it didn't come through my account until basically the week 5 expense dates. So that means that we were under budget the whole $50. This one did come through. We were under budget this whole $24.99. I get charged this on the 25th, but I turned this off on the 10th, I believe. So I'm assuming that had I paid on the 25th, it would have paid for April, but I'm not really sure. But either way, I was not charged that at all. Then the $7.99 did actually come out for my roadside assistance. So let's go ahead and see what we're at. So our fixed expenses were supposed to be $117.93, but we were under budget that $50 and then this $24.99, which means that our fixed expenses actually only came out to $42.94. Now, as far as our budget goes, if you guys missed the week 4 budget results, you missed the fact that I literally only had these 4 expenses for week 4, and the total amount that I spent for week 4 was $111.09. So we're going to transfer that over to this page. So we were supposed to spend up to $193.75. We only spent $111.04. So we were under budget $82.71. There was no unbudgeted amount. So the total here is the $111.04. And then we did not send anything. I was about to say spend. We did not send anything to savings, so that was correct. So what I'm going to end up doing, this week was supposed to be negative $311.68 because I did not have any income whatsoever. But of course we were under budget with some things. So let's see how much we actually were at. So we're going to add the $50 and that we were under budget, add the $24.99, and then add the $82.71, which means that this week, instead of us being negative $311, we were only negative $153.98 between the fixed and the variable expenses. So let's go down to the bottom, and this is where we reconcile the budget completely before we start the next week. So the beginning balance was $5,451.30. There was no income. Fixed was $42.94. Variable was $111.04. And then the savings was indeed $0. So let's see what our accounts ended at. So $5,451.30 minus the $42.94 minus $11.04. Oh, y'all, I'm tripping. This is $11.09. Which means that $193.75 minus $11.09, not $11.04, $82.66. So I'm just redoing the how much we were under budget overall, $82.66. So that's $154.03. Not under budget, we were over budget by 154.03. All right, so let's go back down here. Sorry about that. I always take a screenshot of what my account is at, like at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday night, so that I know what the number is supposed to be at. And that's how I kind of double check my math over time. So this is what is correct. So what was left in the account to start the last week of the month is $5,297.27. And the way that you double check this is if you take the starting balance, what was here, 5,451.30 after the income, and then you actually do what your negative or positive was for your actual. That should give you what your actual ending balance was. And so that balances out. So now it's time to do week 5. And as you guys know, I only have 4 notes pages in here. So I'm actually going to do it on this blank sheet of paper that I printed out. Really quickly, you guys know that I like to feature mock budgets on my channel now. I believe I've done them twice, and I like to do them on a monthly basis. So it is now time to figure out whose budget I'm going to feature in April. So if you are interested in me taking the numbers of your budget and featuring them on my channel using my income allocation method, and also giving any suggestions that I personally would do if that was my income and those were my expenses, feel free to email your numbers to me at KeAmber@KeAmberVaughn.com. I will put up on the screen right now what you need to make sure is included in your email. And if you are chosen, of course, you will remain anonymous, but I will let you know via email if you are chosen, because that video will be featured sometime towards the end of this week. So if you are interested, email me at KeAmber@KeAmberVaughn.com. Make sure you have all of the details that you see right here on this screen, and good luck. So let's zoom out a little bit, and then once I'm done, I'm just going to staple it inside of here. Now, typically I put a washi strip going across, but you guys know that the Erin Condren only comes with 4 washi strips, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to take a box out of here, and this is the Happy Planner Colorful Boxes book, and I'm just going to write week 5 in the box as centered as I can. Okay, so this is going to go from March 29th to, it should be April 4th, but let me just make sure, because my budget ends on the Thursday before the first Saturday of the next month, and that is indeed April 4th. So the income for this week is $0, which is what I had already projected when I first started the month out. But I did think that I was going to get a $300 check this week for my reimbursement for my travel back. But when I contacted my company, it's actually going to come next Friday. So that's going to be included in April's budget. So as you guys can see, this is the monthly pre-plan that I do. And I had already projected $0 anyway. So I'm actually going to put a check mark there. So the only thing we have this week is our budget. There are no more fixed expenses, which is good because, of course, the more money we spend this week, the worse off we're going to be because there is no income. So let's go ahead and start off with the fixed expenses. So even though I'm not projecting any fixed expenses this week, there's a reason why I try to do unbudgeted under each category for the just in case. And this is a good example because remember, this one was supposed to come out last week and it didn't. So of course that means that it came out this week when I ended up paying the credit card bill, I think on Wednesday, Thursday or something, but it just processed this morning, Saturday morning. So all I'm going to do though is put unbudgeted because that was not supposed to come out this week to begin with. Okay. So we're just going to do that. And that's going to finish us off for the fixed expenses. So when I come in to reconcile the budget at the end of this week, that $50 will end up being here, and any other unbudgeted fixed expenses, which I shouldn't have anything else. So The total for this is going to be $0, which means that the remaining, I actually can put in green because 0 is still positive technically. So next, let's do the variable expenses. The way that I do my budgeting with how I basically pre-plan the entire month before the month starts, I think that if you are not doing that so far, if you've been watching me on a weekly basis, I think by now you can see the value in you doing that, because you know, when you can project that, hey, I'm not going to have any income, but I have these bills coming out, you know, you can see kind of what your money is going to end up doing for you towards the end of the month or towards the end of your budget. It's just like here on this monthly pre-plan sheet, how I project how much money I'm going to have left over with each week. Even though I knew that I was going to be negative here because I had no income, I still know that I should at least have this much money left over at the end of the month. I'm sorry, not at the end of the month, but I should have this much left over to be able to send off to savings and everything, which I've already sent all of this off to savings. So what I'm left over with at the very end of the month is just extra that's going to end up going towards savings. And you guys will see how I end up doing that next week. So the only variable expenses that we have is the budget of $193.75, and then of course we need to do an unbudgeted for this as well, because my budget doesn't include like business. So if I end up having any business expenses, that's going to go under unbudgeted, which I don't project to have, but that's why we have that line for the just in cases. All right, so the total is $193.75, and then the remaining is negative $193.75. So as you guys who are not newbies know, I do go ahead and take my account back down to $4,000 at the end of the month. It's kind of like my version of a zero-based budget, which I've said on multiple occasions. I did not used to do that when I was actually in debt, but now that I'm not, I do that. So even though based on my income allocation method, there is no money to allocate towards savings, because this is the end of the budget, there will be money that ends up being sent to savings anyway, because I have to take myself back down to $4,000. I was taught that you keep 2 to 3 times your monthly expenses in your checking account at all times. And even though $4,000 really isn't 2 to 3 times my monthly expenses every month, that is kind of what I go with. So I'm just going to put unbudgeted because there is nothing to budget. And we don't know how much money we're going to have left over. So I am actually going to put an amount here because it's going to be a projected amount, but I can't do it until we do the reconciliation at the bottom first. To see what our projected ending balance is for the account, then I can put an amount here. So I'm not going to put anything just yet, but I do know that either way it's going to make this week negative. So let's go ahead and go down here to the bottom, see what we're projected to end the month with, so we know what we're projected to send to savings at the end of the month. So like always, we have the beginning balance. We're gonna add the income, subtract the fixed, subtract the variable, subtract the savings, and that will give us what we're supposed to be left with in the end. So our beginning balance, of course, is the ending balance from last week, which, if you guys remember, is $5,297.27. There is no income, so that's what our entire beginning balance is. So the fixed expenses, we're not projecting anything. But even though we know that $50 is going to come out this week, we still have to do it based on what we put for the monthly paycheck to paycheck budget overview that we did. So variable, we're only expecting $193.75. So let's see what our ending balance is supposed to be so we know what to put for savings. So we have this number here, and then all we're going to do is subtract the $193.75. So that's going to give us an ending balance of $5,103.52, which, if I'm going to take myself down to $4,000, it's going to give me this amount to send to savings. So that is what I'm actually going to write in, because that should give us our $4,000 that we should be starting the following month off with. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the top, and we're going to write that in here. So the amount is going to be $1,103.52, which means that's also going to be our total. So total for the week is going to be negative $1,297.27. So of course we might not send as much to savings. It just kind of depends. We know, of course, that $50 of that is not going to go because of this unbudgeted expense, but I might end up spending much less than $193.75. I might end up spending more, so we might send even more less than I expect. So that is where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and staple this in here. And I like to staple on top. That way, when I want to see the previous budget, I can just kind of do that, if that makes sense. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have not checked out my income allocation method, I will try to link that up in the eye in the sky. Please thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.